ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sports 98. We're going to go ahead. I know, right? We're going to go ahead and talk about ass-sliping competition. I showed this to Chris last week.
Yes, you did.
It's the actual thing, and I forgot to send it to Johnny. But well,
It
here's
is
what it
100%.
is.
You have my attention.
I want to know how to get involved in that, first of all.
I want to be the judge, and I want to be one of those. What do you call them?
A judge, I want to be a contestant.
Well, yeah, they're hot chicks. I mean, you could change it around nowadays. It's like, no, I identify as a woman.
Listen. I have, and this is from several full-fledged lesbians. So I tend to believe that what they say is true. I apparently have what's known to the kids as cake.
You know what? I fucking believe you, because as much as you come at me, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's plenty of women around me.
Listen, I full-fledged had a lesbian coworker that I used to work with. We were staying in an Airbnb together for work in DC, and I'm in my pajamas and I'm there brushing my teeth in the bathroom. She walks by and she literally stopped in her tracks, walked back, looks over and goes, "God damn, Jacka, you got cake."
God, fucking, I hate you a little bit.
I'm suddenly reminded of part of the bit that Dave Chappelle did during one of his last stand-ups, where he was backstage and this gay couple came up, and there was this big dude, and apparently they refer to him as a teddy bear. I get teddy bear vibes from you, man.
You know, and this, you are not the first person to have said that to me. I have been told that on more than one occasion. Yes, sir.
That's outstanding. All right, so over the weekend, NASCAR, it's back. It's in full swing. It's the first race. It's the second race of the year. They went out to Fontana. It's going to be the last time you're going to see Fontana in its current 2-mile configuration.
Why are they changing it up?
It's just the market. I mean, they're not selling the seats out.
Okay.
They did this past weekend. It's just because everybody was like, this is going to be the last time we're going to see Auto Club Speedway in its current configuration. There's some banter going back and forth online. I'm kind of of the mindset of maybe NASCAR needs to take a break from Southern California for, a couple of years. And it's not that, hey, we're abandoning a market. No, it's not really that. Because California does actually have, in essence, 3 races a year. They've got the Clash at the Coliseum, whatever. They have the Fontana race, and they've also got the road course in Sonoma. So, but really, Auto Club Speedway, it was unique. It had its problems. It's 2 miles. It's a 2-mile speedway. So, we really don't need another, 2-mile plus course out there. We've got Daytona, we've got Nashville Super Speedway, we've got Talladega. So what they're going to do with the Auto Club Speedway out there in Montana is they're going to turn it into a short track, and I really like that idea. I mean, it's going to introduce. I mean, because you've got Riverside and you've got all these little home tracks dotted all over the country. So I mean, short track racing is not a it's not this new concept to the state of California. When you get a lot of really great dirt racers coming from California, like Kyle Larson, Kevin Harvick, Jimmy Johnson, he's from El Cajon, California. You've got I cannot names are blanking right now, but they're gonna. I mean, they sold off a majority of that property. So NASCAR was making money hand over fist just from the sale of the property, from the land. So what they're going to do is they're going to completely pave, or they're going to completely just raise everything down, and they're going to start from scratch. And they're going to put in a short track. I don't think they're going to put it in there along the lines of like a Bristol-esque, kind of like a Coliseum feel. I think.
How long is that going to take, though?
It would take at least a year and a half, depending on red tape and just actual pace of the contractors. So I mean, but that's for people with pay grades way higher than ours that are actually employed by the governing body to figure out. But I mean, like people like Dale Jr., he was on his Dale Jr. Download, his podcast this week, and he was like, I really don't think it's going to be that damn big of a deal if we don't go out there for 2 years. I mean, he really doesn't. And I'm of that mindset. And it's not because, oh, Dale Jr. said it, so it must be true. No, I mean, you kind of look at the beans to bullets kind of a thing. And I mean, because
well, you also got to look at if it's going to ruin any of the standings.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, is it going to be that big of a point loss if they don't do that race?
They're not talking about removing that weekend from the schedule. They're not. That's not what they're talking about. I mean, they're going to rearrange the schedule, and there's going to be some other track that's going to get that date.
Oh, okay.
So they're not going to lose a race, as far as like the overall schedule. So what we're talking about is the absence of NASCAR from that market for a minimum of at least 2 years. So, and I'm like, okay, whatever NASCAR does, they just don't need to go and do like they're trying to do this year when they're trying to experiment with that Chicago street course. Don't do that in the city of LA or, whatever. We don't need another road course. We don't. NASCAR traditionally has been established as an oval track series. I'm not saying we need to get back to the 90s and to early 2000s of these cookie cutter mile and a half tracks, like Atlanta and Texas Motor Speedway. We don't need more of those. We need tracks with character. I mean, if you look at North Wilkesboro, corner turns 3 and 4 are at a higher elevation than turns 1 and 2. You're driving uphill down the back stretch and you're driving downhill down on the front straightaway. So you have to drive the track 2 different ways. Okay. I mean, I'm excited that we're going back to North Wilkesboro. I mean, yes, it's going to be for the All-Star race. Now, I think that if, everything is done right as far as the infrastructure, as far as the attendance, as far as the TV ratings and things like that, I think that it would be very prudent on the part of NASCAR to give North Wilkesboro a regular race weekend, a points paying weekend, because I mean, we need a kind of a reinfusion of, vintage nostalgia, just to kind of remind especially because they're big on this whole 75 years of NASCAR this year. And the general consensus, and there's a very popular opinion out there rather, that, NASCAR's kind of lost its way. They're branching out, doing all these road courses. I mean, they're
I
going
mean, the
out.
weirdest one that they're coming up with this year for the 75 anniversary is the one in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, and that's them trying to break back into a market because the Chicagoland Speedway failed a couple years ago out in Joliet. So, you know, bring that closer in, bring it to the city of Chicago. I don't necessarily agree with a street course. I mean, I think that eh,
Well, my
I
thing
want
is,
it to be
how are the cars gonna really get that much speed with that much armor on them? I mean, that's the only way I would race that fucking thing.
yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I get what you're saying. You would be very remiss to think that NASCAR is not going to put security at a premium. I mean, just the overtime alone that the Chicago Police Department's going to have to pay for has got to come from somewhere. And so the city of Chicago is going to make millions of dollars that over that weekend. And do I want that to be a recurring event? I'm not sold on it yet. I'm just really
I'm
not.
saying that
I really
need to
don't
make it a
care.
death
I
race.
mean, I really don't care that the fact that Chicago was the site of the very, very first car race. I don't care. I mean, it's a cool little factoid. It is what it is. Part of that road course, part of that street, part of that race course, you know, the course that those two, you know, those cars drove on was Lakefront Drive, and that is part of the course in the street race. But I'm not sold on it, and I'm like,
See, my issue with it
it's bad enough that they put. I mean, it's bad enough that they, you know, that they're putting dirt on Bristol once a, you know, I mean, it's a cool idea. It's novel. Maybe once every couple of years, do a dirt race and don't hold it at just one track. You know, moving around. And I mean, if you're going to do a dirt race, make it a short track race. But I think that teams could really capitalize on not going out to California, you know, the weekend after Daytona.
What were you saying, Chris?
I just say part of my problem is that what made NASCAR was it had its own identity, and it's pushing towards, because you have doing this Chicago race is like putting it almost directly in competition with F1. F1 and NASCAR were two completely totally different things.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to, it's almost like NASCAR is trying to break into that F1 market, so to speak. Right. Whereas what they need to do is concentrate on, like you said, what made NASCAR. It had its own identity. And now
I had this idea.
It's losing its sense of who it used to be or what it was.
I had this idea last week, and I'm surprised I didn't get to say it on the show, but I honestly think they should get like a case of moonshine and put it in the back end of the vehicle. You know, secure it really.
Dude, make it, like what would be great is count how many bottles are broken at the end of it, and you get points deducted for whatever damage that you have there.
You can take away points.
That'll never fly. Here's why. Here's why.
It could be.
Hold on. The radiant temperature that comes off of the track through that car, it was in the 40s and 50s for the race in Fontana this weekend. Those cars were at a comfortable 80 degrees. It runs about anywhere from 40 to 50 degrees hotter inside those cars because you've got the exhaust heating up the racing surface. That heat goes directly into the cars. So you're looking at, on the average, those race car drivers are losing anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds of water weight over the course of 3 hours.
You know what, though?
You fill it with coolant or something that can actually absorb heat. And then you don't have to worry about it.
Those cars run
here's my
anywhere
defense
from
on this.
those
'Cause I really
cars,
wanna
those
see
cars,
this.
right? Those cars run anywhere from $350 to $650,000 a piece.
I mean, look at the Bass Times, the beginning of this. They probably did the same fucking thing. It's like, hey, let's do it this way. Put a couple of moonshines in
They
there.
had special
All I'm hearing,
compartments
I'm hearing a
back in
lot of
those 38
negative.
They had special car compartments built into the
Christmas.
trunks of those 38 Fords and 38 Chevys. Those cars were designed to run that kind of a situation, but these are pure through and through 100% from the ground up, built to be race cars. They've got a closed fuel cell in the back. They've got an oil cooler in the back. I mean, they don't run your standard 5 quarts of oil. They run 15 quarts of oil at pressure in those cars just to keep the engines cool enough. The cooling systems are under pressure. I mean, they're pressurized. It's not like, oh, we're overheating, let's just pop the cap on this radiator or the overflow tank. There is no overflow tank. That the entire system is under pressure. They've got a budget that they have to run as far as amperage is concerned. That's why they don't run air conditioning in these cars. With the electrical demands that are being placed on these cars now, between onboard cameras, the digital rear view camera that they've got sitting on the dashboard now, they've got these LCD or LED rather displays for the drivers to look at RPMs and things like that. Plus all the scoring timers, the telemetry that they've got to run on those cars.
Okay, we got big things in those cars.
Okay,
This
what
is
I'm hearing. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of excuses, and I'm not hearing any solutions.
He's got a good point.
You want a solution? All right, really.
I got a solution for you. We go back to the original cars for the anniversary and see who wins that. And they have to have a case of moonshine.
You're talking about the original cars, David. I want you to explain to me what original car. I mean, seriously, what original car?
Original style of cars. I know what you're getting at.
Original style of car,
like mocked up all the fucking hell.
Right. And so what are you willing to sacrifice at that point? Are you willing to sacrifice
people?
Safety? I know a few drivers on people to sacrifice.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm talking. I mean, because before the show, we were talking about things from a business standpoint. At the root of everything, every professional sport that we cover is a business.
I get that, but why can't you have it like a little fun with it and go back and like, I mean, there's people out there doing like the derby matchups where they're getting like go-karts and souping them up and fucking going.
That's because they're losing their hemorrhaging
fans though. That's the thing this is a way to bring them back in.
The number of drivers that have been killed running these cars, okay, as unfortunate as it is, okay, that it takes somebody dying to create all these safety innovations. The week that Dale Earnhardt Sr. died, there was like 450 Hans devices that were purchased by NASCAR teams. Okay, 2 different models of Hans devices, but overall 450 different Hans devices were sold that week going into the following race. Okay. So you take, and part of the reason why they've got this next generation car that they're running is it's supposed to bring some kind of like parity to the sport. I mean, if they were running like that god awful shitbox car of tomorrow, that car was expensive to run. You've got the skewed bodies, I think what were they called, the F bodies. You know what I'm talking about, Chris. Like you had the Monte Carlos and the Corliss, right?
Right.
Where the bodies just looked all skewed out, right? The left front fender was dropped down way low, and you had all kinds of clearances on the right side. But those cars, they drove amazing. I mean, they were the most fun cars to drive. They went fast because you could tweak the bodies, you could massage the bodies and find out where that gray area was that you could operate in. But they just overall, they weren't safe, like at all. With this this new next gen car that they're running, I mean, they're still figuring things out, but for the most part, that's probably one of the, if not the safest car that NASCAR has ever put onto a track. And at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you got guys going out there and souping up go-karts and top fuel dragsters and things like that, but they still have to operate within a set of rules, because at the end of the day, you're putting your life on the line by strapping your butt into what's basically amounted to as a rocket ship on with a roll cage around you. And you know, if your belts aren't a certain spec, if your seats aren't spec'd out to a certain way, if you don't have built-in crumple zones that dissipate the energy at the proper ratios, you hit a wall even as little as 160 miles an hour, you're not walking away from that wreck.
I have the solution. This is, you want to start bringing people back into NASCAR and bringing fans in. Have Tom Cruise do Days of Thunder 2.
Right.
That might
solution.
actually do
there
it.
Is. That's the fix you want, right? That is the fix you need right there.
I was gonna
Tom
say
Cruise
either
Days of Thunder 2.
I was either gonna say
why do I suddenly
foam
hear
from
and
Bobby?
have it where he
Help
makes
me, Tom Cruise. Help me, Oprah.
This
Help me,
is
Jewish God.
He starts where he's driving the Today car and he's running through and doing everything normal, right? And then something happens and he runs to pit row and he jumps in the old Days of Thunder car. He comes out and then he wins the race with that car. Boom! Wrote the movie right there. You got there's the script.
Yeah, you got a point. No, I think there should be either foam from Demolition Man. You can just see those people just roll out, or ejection seats, and we still go with the Tom Cruise thing, and one of them dies just like Goose. It's too soon. I know it's too soon.
It's always going to be
James Bond, like ejector seats.
Fucking Austin Powers.
Right?
Fuck yeah, dude! That would be awesome.
Oddly enough, in that particular scene, had Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. See,
so Tom Cruise is the solution here.
Exactly.
All hell Scientology, Tom Cruise.
He actually left Scientology.
Did he really? You're not allowed to leave Scientology.
He had to leave
Scientology. Yeah, you keep talking. I gotta find this out.
Yeah, that's not.
It was brought up in court between him and Katie Holmes that if you wanted to see your daughter, you have to leave that church. Yeah, church. Anyways, so getting back to the more realistic news, Kurt Busch extended and actually set a new NASCAR record for the most consecutive seasons with a win at 19. This is only his second points-paying race with his new car and new race team in Richard Childress Racing. He wheeled the 8 car to victory lane, and he did it in a pretty convincing fashion. He overcame hitting the wall a couple of times. Even overcame a pit road speeding penalty, and came back from the back, I think twice over the course of the day, to win that race. You know, and you know, I'm happy for him. I really am. Being an Earnhardt fan and a Dale Jr. fan, I have been inclined in the past to ban M&Ms from my house because I hated Kyle Busch that much. Which hurts my soul because I love me some peanut M&Ms, dude.
A recent piece of
peanut M&Ms, but you know, I'm just like, you know, but listening to, you know, because Dale Jr.'s had him on his podcast a couple of times, and you know, listening to him, and you know, he's kind of pompous when he gets a bad attitude and he starts like giving up, you know, and he's like, whatever. When he gets all red ass, and you know, then he becomes kind of insufferable. But you know, at the end of the day, he's the kind of personality that the sport's been missing for a while. And I mean, whether we choose to like him or not, Kyle Busch has got talent, and I'm not saying. Taco Tuesday guy, but
But you know, I mean, the guy's got over 200 victories between all of the 3 series that he runs: the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup. But with his win yesterday, him and his brother Kurt, who retired last year, are now the winningest pair of brothers in the sport with 96 wins. So I'm you know, hey, congratulations to Kyle. I mean, everybody, his nickname's Rowdy. Well, growing up through the sport, when he came in, he was the Shrub for me. So I'm just like, 'cause, you know, Shrub was. So next week we're going to be going to Phoenix, or no, they're going to Las Vegas next weekend for the Pennzoil 400.
You mean this weekend? Or they're not going to race this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend. Sunday, March 5th. It's going to be a 2:30 Central Time race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's going to be on Fox. It's going to be on PRN or Sirius XM. No, we're not being paid to say that by NASCAR, because if they did, we'd have a slightly higher production value.
It would look a lot better.
Yeah, it would. It would look a lot better. A lot better. You know,
we're doing it for the sound, not for the video quality. Like Chris is using the filter app from TikTok again. He's looking a little bit smoother.
You like that?
Well, I mean,
man,
made you moist.
Oh god.
Dude, David, anything else?
I was not.
You would be the one that would benefit the most from having a higher video budget.
I would have to get a makeup artist.
Listen,
or it was like,
listen,
Dave got a makeup artist? No. Dave got a stand-in.
You know, if we had the budget that we're talking about for this, I would actually have a hair.
I would pay for it. I would pay for it.
I give a shit about the smooth face. Just give me hair.
Chris's segment this week is brought to you by Hair Club for Men. Good enough for Joey Logano. It's good enough.
Exactly.
There was some football news this week also. The Buccaneers announced that they're planning to release running back Leonard Fournette after 3 years. The Eagles promoted their quarterback coach to offensive coordinator, so they're hiring within. Let me see.
So what do you think is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers after he came out of his cave? Did you hear about that shit?
Aaron Rodgers came out of his darkness retreat, saw his shadow, and he's going to be in Green Bay for another 6 weeks.
Yeah, I know. That was the most ridiculous. That was the most ridiculous thing I've heard. I mean, I hear that sometimes you have to go out and like maybe go out to the woods and find yourself again and everything like that. But you know, it's just ridiculous to hear. I mean, it's something that you just keep to yourself. Hey, where were you? Can't talk about it. Good enough for me.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I honestly thought when I first heard about it was like he's back from a darkness retreat. I thought it was a joke. I honestly
There's a lot of things that I hear through the grapevine I think is a joke.
Apparently, it's a thing. I'm like,
yeah.
All right,
well, I know. Well, what was his name? Fuck. The guy that played Morbius. I can't remember his name right now. Jared Leto. He didn't know that there was a thing called COVID. Whatever.
No, there was COVID.
He didn't know there was COVID because he did this. We'll call it a drug retreat. It was drug rehab, but in reversed.
Well, according to him, he knew society.
And I watched the video.
I
watched the video of it. It was fucking hilarious. I watched the video of it, and he comes back. He's like, "What's COVID? What? We're dying."
We live in a society. We live in a society where Jared Leto is just as big of an idiot as we think he is. See what I did?
Hands of God, yeah. I
All right, so The Jets and the Browns are going to open up the 2023 NFL preseason at the Hall of Fame game. The 49ers are talking about adding a veteran quarterback as Trey Lance and Brock Purdy are coming back from injuries. Let me see here. The Seahawks have said that they're not dismissing the possibility of drafting a quarterback in the first round. It's a rare opportunity.
Right now, the Bears have this is just speculations. Gillette Carter from Georgia, defensive and what's DT? Fuck, I don't know.
Defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. That's what they're going for the first one.
Well, I mean, hey, they got to do it. They got to. I mean, because
they got to do something.
Yeah, they got to do something because the Bears haven't had a good defense since 1985.
Yeah.
Josh McDaniels, who's the Raiders head coach, says that whoever that they get for quarterback, they want him to be there for a very long time.
Well, the second one's for the Texans, and it's C.J. Stroud from Ohio State quarterback. That's the only quarter.
Hey, CJ, do yourself a favor, bro.
Don't do it.
Withdraw from the draft and play your. That way you'll end up in some place like, I don't know.
Yeah, the first for the draft, they got, let me see here. For the first 10 of the draft, they got Bryce Young for Alabama for Colts. Anthony Richardson, 6. This is going to be the 6th draft, supposedly, unless they changed up the draft and everything. Anthony Richard from Florida for the quarterback. Will Lewis for Kentucky.
Draft, so.
And that's all the quarterbacks.
These guys are projected to go. The Texans absolutely need a quarterback. I'm sorry, they just do.
They need a whole good team.
Well,
they need a lot of stuff.
They've got some good prospects on defense.
They either need a genie or a new retrospect of the fucking team.
Maybe they need Tom Cruise.
Maybe they do need Tom Cruise. That's our answer for everything nowadays. Tom Cruise.
he's our.
How are we gonna do this? Bring in Tom Cruise. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
They're gonna
help the
reboot the
Navy.
movie Draft Day, and you're gonna recast Kevin Costner with Tom Cruise.
No, we're not talking movies. No, we're not talking movies or anything like that. We're just gonna put them into the areas. Like, I am here.
His healing presence will just take care of everything.
Yes, Chris got it.
It's like an area of effect.
The Falcons are going to release quarterback Marcus Mariota after one season. So the Marcus Mariota experiment has failed yet once again.
That's another thing I was going to talk about too.
Came from the University of Oregon. System quarterback not making it in the NFL. Gee, who would have thought that would have been the thing? We're looking at you, Cliff Kingsbury. So I'm just kind of saying. Let me see here.
Here's a feel good news.
And the Commanders, the District of Washington Commanders, to you, David, released quarterback Carson Wentz after one season. Just kind of putting that out there.
Oh goodness!
I found. Dude, check this out. Okay, I know you're hitting you're trailing and
yes, I'm trying to get through it because I do have to go to work in about an hour, and we still have to get Colin on the show.
Oh shit. Okay.
So the Boston Bruins are still tearing it up in the world of the NHL. They're currently 46-8-5. They've got 97 points, which the closest team to them is going to be the Carolina Hurricanes at 86 points. But yeah, and then the Bruins goalie the other night became the 16th goalie in NHL history to score a goal.
No way.
Team history to do it. I believe it was I think it was the Phoenix that they were playing, or Minnesota. I think it was Phoenix. Anyway, they pulled their goalie for an open net so that they could have an extra skater on the ice. And Puck got away. It got down towards the Bruins net. Ullmark comes out, gathers up the puck, and looks, and he's like, there is nobody on their side of the blue line. So he just flips it over everybody. It just kind of flicks it, right? You see this puck sailing through the air. It lands past the blue line on the other side of the ice and just kind of just slides right in and bounces in and out of the goal. In and out of the net.
I'm gonna go back and find that. That's amazing.
Oh, dude, I caught the notification about that, and I pulled up the video, and I'm sitting there going, son of a damn.
Yeah, it's one of those moments you're like, did that fucking just not yet?
Yeah, I mean, hockey history. First Bruins goalie to ever score a goal, and he was only the 16th in NHL history to do it.
Yeah.
Just, like, how does that happen? Like, the kind of year that the Bruins are having, they better win the Stanley Cup. That's all I've got to say.
No, what it is he has a wheelbarrow. He puts his balls in there, and he's on the ice. And that's how it happened. Science.
Oddly enough, they have to plan for the extra weight on the aircraft when he flies with the team.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious.
Oh,
okay,
man.
So
just effortless.
Real quick, I'm going to touch on this before I call Colin. The addition of the pitch clock in baseball this year.
I was going to ask you about
to
that.
pay off dividends.
Already been interesting.
I'm watching the Red Sox this past weekend on my MLB premium package, and they're playing the first grapefruit league game in Florida against the Braves, and I'm like, okay. And they had like a 3-run lead, and going into the ninth, the Braves had actually tied it. It was tied at 6 apiece, and I'm like, all right, bases are loaded. They've, the Red Sox pitchers have basically walked the entire ballpark. And I'm like, okay, here we go. This is going to suck, right? Full count, 2 outs. The pitcher steps off, the batter steps out of the box, and he starts walking down to first base. The Braves thought that they had just gotten the winning run, walked in, right? Because of a clock violation. Because if the pitcher exceeds the time, it's an automatic ball. If it's and if the batter takes too much time, it's an automatic strike. The umpire steps out from behind home plate, points at the runner that just left home plate, and goes, he's out. Right? Apparently, there is a rule for the batters is that you have to have both feet in the box, and you have to be facing the pitcher. You don't have to be in a ready stance. You just have to be ready to get there by having a certain position, right? So I mean, you're addressing the pitcher. You got both feet in the box, and you're ready to, you're up here.
Oh shit!
It was a walk-off, clock-off, basically. So the game ended in a tie. Now, the only reason why it ended in a tie is because there's kind of a rule in spring training that both, the games won't go to extra innings unless the managers want to. And I'm sitting there going, wow. Yeah.
Dude, and all the players, like nobody, there was a split second there because I saw the video of that. There was a split second there where literally nobody knew what happened for a second.
Yeah.
The batter was like, what the fuck? The pitcher was standing there like, what just happened? And even the crowd didn't even react. Like, it was just kind of a split second where everybody was dead silent.
The crowd immediately started cheering because they thought that they won the game.
But I say, when he called out, though, everybody, there was like a breath where it was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you see the reaction start coming out.
Yeah.
And even the players on there were just dumbfounded.
Yeah, because what's funny is the fact that there was only 2 clock violations all game, and they were both against Red Sox batters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so I mean, it's going to be because MLB told the umpires, look, enforce the rule as it's written. There's no grace period here. We need to get players ready to get used to this. Yeah. But I'll say this about the pitch clock. Now, Jeff Fry, who used to play professional baseball and played for the Red Sox for a time, he's gone on record on his Twitter account as saying, I hate the pitch clock because the game moves fast enough as it is while you're on the field, and you're expecting batters and pitchers to get ready faster. As much as I love the game of baseball, it was kind of nice to sit down and watch 9 innings in about 2 hours and 45 minutes. Because there's absolutely 4.5 hours. Yeah, because honestly, there's absolutely no reason why it should take a hitter 3 fucking minutes to get into the batter's box. There's no reason why a pitcher needs 35 to 45 seconds in between pitches. There's just not, and to me, I think it makes it brings a little bit more attention to the players' need to have that ability to transition from one at bat to the next. And I'm the clock. The idea of the clock was, to me, at first, I wasn't real sure about it, and I was leaning towards more of the not liking it camp. But after watching a couple of games so far this spring, I think I've watched like a total of 6 games this spring so far. Because I've been watching the Red Sox, the Reds. I've been watching the Rangers. I've watched a few other teams play. I wanted to see how this pitch clock thing was working, and I'm starting to kind of appreciate the pace of play. And don't come at me with this whole purist argument or frame of mind that, well, it's hurting the game, it's killing the game. Look, I'm not trying to hear that at all, because I don't believe that it's going to hurt the game. In fact, if anything else, I think that it makes the game more digestible.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
A
lot of the reason why I don't watch baseball is for the basic fact of it's just way too long, and it's not keeping up pace.
Well, you think about it. It's like you watch an NFL game on TV. It's a 60-minute contest, yet it still takes 3 hours to play.
Yeah.
No. So, but with football, it's consistently moving.
Yeah.
But when I go to the ballpark, I want to make it an all-day experience kind of a thing, and because you get there early, maybe grill out in the parking lot, you go in, you catch batting practice, you try to hunt down some autographs, by sneaking down to the lower levels. You're just kind of taking the whole thing in. It's an atmosphere. And
you don't use like chloroform, and
it's the experience.
You just need like a thumb, right?
The whole Ace Ventura thing, just chase them down on the track.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go back to ball games, David.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you would be arrested. Sorry.
There's a reason why you're not allowed there's a reason why you're not allowed within 100 feet of a fucking schoolyard.
Or Matt.
That's one reason. Anyway.
Yeah. But I'm starting to like the pitch clock. The pace of play has definitely been picked up. The fact that the bases are 3 inches bigger doesn't even it's not a thing for me. It's really. Let me ask you this: it's not shortening the distance between the bases. It's still 90 feet because it's measured from the back of the base, or from the front of the base to the back of the next base. So it's still 90 feet. So
let me ask you this, just playing devil's advocate. Do you think that not having and I know it's kind of a stretch, but having that rest period between pitches is going to increase pitcher injuries?
That's a good point.
Or will the potential be there? I guess I should say.
Well, Yeah, the potential is always going to be there, but the potential was there without, without the pitch clock. And the reason why I say that is it all comes down to A, freak accidents, B, conditioning of that particular athlete. I mean, if you come into spring training not having thrown a baseball all winter long, that's your fault.
Yeah,
I mean, these are professional athletes that are expecting us to pay them millions and millions of dollars to work 6 months out of the year. And I'm like, okay, show up to work, being ready to work. It's like tonight, the Red Sox are playing. They're playing right now, as a matter of fact. Where are they?
Oh, they're playing right now. Gotta go, guys. What the fuck?
Well, they're playing Miami right now, but Corey Kluber, who we picked up during the offseason, made his Red Sox debut tonight. So I mean, he started the game at pitcher. I mean, the game is still tied at 0, but it's already in the top of the third, and the game started, like 20, 30 minutes ago.
That's actually really good.
That's not bad
for time. Yeah, that's really good.
But as it is, March 31st, I think, is the first is opening day. So, spring training is a week or a month for a reason. We're gonna get these players stretched out. We're gonna start seeing longer outings by the pitchers. I think it's going to be an entertaining season, just basically due to the personnel moves that were made during the off season. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun season to watch. I mean, of course, I'm going to be all in on Boston, but
I don't know where you get this from, Johnny. There's nothing behind you that says Boston.
Yeah, there's nothing behind me at all. I mean,
you don't even know what city
those are Ranger colors. I'm just saying.
I mean, you don't see any pinstripes back here, so nor will you ever. Nor will you ever.
I know my limits. If I go up, it's like, man,
I'd let you talk me into going gay for 20 minutes, David, before I rooted for the Yankees. That's all I'm trying to say.
If it's one of those things. Oh my god, it was so fucking hilarious. Just to see him like almost throw.
I would
because something.
I would refilm and recreate your chocolate dick eating video. Than be a Yankees fan. So
like moans and all.
Moans, the little tongue flicks, the cradling of the ball, the whole 9 yards. I would recreate shot for shot. I'm trying to see. I texted Colin to see if he was ready.
While he's getting that, doing a little bit of a happy feel-good story. Nebraska cheerleader completes alone at state champs after squad quits, scores team record. The high school cheerleader from Nebraska has inspired people everywhere by completing solo in a state competition after her 3 teammates quit just after days before the competition. Carla Cole, a senior in Morrill High School in Moraline, Nebraska, took the mat alone in Nebraska high school cheer and dance competition on 17th of February. Near 2 weeks before the competition, her coach, April Ota, had told Carling that her 3 freshman teammates had quit the Lions cheerleading squad due to personal reasons. When Ota broke the news to Carlisle, she promised they could still attend the 3-day cheer and dance competition and watch from the sidelines. However, Carlisle had other plans. With less than 2 weeks before the state, Carlisle learned a new routine to perform solo at the competition. I decided I wanted to go and still compete because I wanted to end my senior year with a bang. I didn't want to give up on cheerleading because it had been such a huge part of my life. Carla told local Fox affiliation station. when she performed her solo routine at the Heartland Events Center in Green Island, Nebraska. Spectators instantly began to cheer for her. A video from her performance showed Carla dancing on the mat and picking up different color pom-poms. Even her competitors were hard chilling for Carla from the sideline. I perhaps had the loudest crowd involved there. Everybody with the was cheering with me. It was amazing. With blank as Carla admitted her mind went blank as soon as she started the routine, but it was the cheers from the crowd that helped her carry on. They are going to support me and cheer me on. They recalled thinking per her local news outlet. Even if I mess up this whole thing, it'll be okay. I'm doing this for myself and it doesn't matter. It's going to be okay. So that's amazing. That's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. That's a fuck you guys moment, honestly. How are we doing on your end, Johnny?
Trying to figure out why why it's saying I'm in do not disturb mode, which obviously I'm not.
Yeah, I was wondering that because it's showing on my end that you're in. Johnny has notified silenced.
No, I'm really not. Here.
But if anybody is listening in April April 1st, I will be at Tulsa, Oklahoma for their
Can you hear me, guy?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my Mac, dude. I gotta figure that out.
That was weird.
Oh. You ready to go? Because I'm gonna what is it? Free flow. Your intro again here. I know I got to start writing these down.
Yes.
I mean, we've only said that
every episode
17 times.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, youngsters, lawyers, and otherwise abysmal sectors of our society. It is that time, once again, that you have all come to know, love, enjoy, nay, depend upon to expand your horizons and justify the meaning of your miserable existences. I bring to you your weekly installment of my genetic code on display for your ears and your eyes, leaving you soppy wet, moist, ridden hard, put away wet. It's that time, once again, for joke time with Colin.
What do you call a nun in a wheelchair? A Virgin Mobile.
Oh my god. Oh.
What do you call a flat chest emo? A cutting board.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Holy shit, that was a good one. Oh man.
Holy crap.
Oh.
You have another one for us, Guy?
No, that was it. Or did you hear the emo one?
Yes, we heard the emo one.
Oh, we heard.
Holy crap.
that was
Colin, I will call you and your brother probably
Dear God in heaven.
Thursday.
Way too late.
So on a very proud moment here, while I'm not getting my boys this weekend, there is a reason for it. It's so that way, one, we don't have to spend 15 hours in the part of this coming weekend. But my youngest son Reagan is getting baptized this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So I'm looking forward to getting pictures and video from his mother concerning that. But this not this weekend, but the following weekend, we got spring break coming up. Yeah, so I'm gonna get the boys for an entire week, which means the week of spring break, everybody. Colin will be in studio live on camera, recorded. Well, no, recorded live before studio audience for his joke time segment. So we need to get applause, noise. David, you're falling down on the job.
He needs to dig deep for that. This is going to be a momentous occasion. He needs to dig deep.
Just then, anyway.
Chris needs to have a heart
outro.
attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. History was made today.
He still can't get over that goddamn joke.
You carry on with your lives and you look at the preparations that you make for dinner, that you're reminded of things such as a flat-chested emo while you're slicing your vegetables.
Cutting tomatoes.
We pray that the next time you see Richard Branson on a commercial or on any kind of TV spot, that you picture him in a nun outfit.
Oh, God. I try not to.
May the power May the power of Christ and Cheetos compel each and every one of you as you tread forth where angels fear to go. You have been enlightened, entertained, and soaked, both emotionally, morally, and physically. This has been Joke Time with Colin.
So, Richard Branson in a habit is what you think of when you're trying not to finish, right?
Do I? Yes. You think about Richard Branson in a nun outfit when you're trying to last longer. Colin, I love you guys 3,000. I will call you later. Love you. Later. There goes.
Jesus fucking Christ, that was hilarious.
Dirty Mobile, that one was great, dude. As soon as he started his joke, Chris was over there going like this.
Yeah.
I prepare. I need to. There's steps I need to take in order to be mentally prepared for the onslaught of what I'm about to do.
I'm surprised
because you never know.
Have like a breathing apparatus.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to start keeping a vial of holy water. Right.
I need like some crystals and sage and shit sitting next to me here.
You made that, Johnny.
I made that. Everybody, yeah, I made that.
I'm the only one here. Everybody's going, and I'm the only one here.
Oh man,
I'm enjoying this ride, baby. Yeah,
fantastic.
Well, the Red Sox are up 1-0.
What a ride!
So yeah, but yeah,
man.
I think we need to land this plane.
Yeah. So we got 2 more episodes to episode 100 for Nerd Sports. So
100.
Can't believe we're doing.
I mean, honestly, I'm like, what are we gonna do?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well,
I mean, obviously, anything too terribly big because that would entail one or more of us to travel to a specific location. And between school and work, that's really not going to work.
Yeah. It's one of those things. We'll just have to figure it out.
We'll
I think, what was it? Two? No,
do an
not
episode introspection.
We'll just on
That
episode
would
100,
require us to go
we'll
back and
we'll talk
listen
a
to
little bit of
ourselves.
sports. We'll talk a bit little. We'll get the sports stuff like done in like 7 minutes, and we'll just shoot the shit and have good old fucking time. I mean,
Isn't that what we do all the time?
we do,
And
but
it's
we
more like
don't
I can
do
sit
it.
We
here and-
actually had like sports discussions.
And it's not like I
Hey,
can sit here and
Yeah.
drink, while we're shooting, because I got to go to work.
You show to work sober? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Look, Uncle Sam doesn't pay
Does
me to
that?
be a functioning alcoholic anymore,
What a
David.
fucking
I
nerd.
can't do that. No, speaking of nerd, did you guys
Actually.
see what I posted on Facebook today
Oh yeah, about
about Michelle Nichols? Her ashes are going to be sent to orbit.
Oh yes, I did. I did.
Other cast members from Star Trek who have died, their ashes are going to accompany her, along with Gene Roddenberry's. But DNA from George Washington, Dwight D. Eisenhower,
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy, and Ronald Reagan are going to be on the same rocket.
That's cool.
That's neat.
That's like just basic. That's restarting civilization right there.
Yeah.
Just dump that into a big cloning vat and just go to work.
But you would think, okay, we need so we lock, stock, and barrel everything that's Ronald Reagan. Boom. That's the paternal side of it. But
Right.
we need to be selective about the genes that go into the maternal side of it.
That's true. It could be interesting.
Oh God, here comes the hate. All of these female listeners going, fuck these guys.
There goes their analytics.
You
Yeah.
know who?
Bad
It's
analytics. But anyways, everybody, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton, and I don't have the energy for you right now.
I am Chris Chaka. Man,
All right, everybody. Talk to you later. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.